So to make it feel more human, so I actually combine, tech with some thoughtful human touches. So I'll give you some examples, and for other people listening, so they can use. So you should do welcome calls and also personalized emails for new subscribers. Yeah, use automation, but make it a bit more personal. Don't send new subscribers a special email, and for the older subscribers also a special email. Don't make it all the same one. So also handwritten notes for key clients and collaborators as well. Just um, send them in the mail as well, so that feels nice as well. And you should also make tailored follow-ups based on user behavior. So go beyond just first names, so referencing past actions, interests, or milestone. So if someone watched my podcast, for example, I might reach out, with a thank you note. That shows I noticed their engagement and
Yeah.
that I appreciated. So automation kind of handles the timing, but you need to have personalization. So the thoughtful part is the one that makes it human.
That's nice. I really like the handwritten notes that you told. So, hi guys, this is Eamon, and we are back with another episode of Beyond the Feed by Social Champ. And today we have Jelena with us, who's a digital creator. She's a marketing specialist. She's also working at Semrush currently, and she has a very new podcast show which is coming up, and I'm excited for that as well. So, today we have a very interesting topic to talk about, that is how to automate marketing without losing the human touch, which is actually a very trending topic nowadays. So, all over to you, Jelena. Can you tell me how do you actually make marketing fun and make sure that there's creativity along with using automation tools?
Hi, first of all, thank you so much for inviting me. Thank you for the invitation. Also, for that amazing intro. So, I just want to say hi to everyone. And thank you for the question. That's a very good question. So, for example, I personally use automation tools like, many creators. But at the end of the day, I think they're just tools. I think we should use it to our own benefit. We shouldn't use them to replace us, but rather to, save us time on some repetitive tasks. So, for example, I'm the one who creates the content. I think of the uh, content, campaigns, some content I post. Also, I think of when should I post it, for what audience should I post it. I'm the one on the creative side, that also I create, some edits in Canva or whatever. However, automation only helps me save time and be efficient so I can focus on some more creative tasks that I have. So it can, do some repetitive tasks like, sending out emails or scheduling some posts, but I'm the one on the creative side. And that way, I think I don't lose the human touch. I
Yeah,
only kind of enhance it.
that's great. So you're working at Samrush, and Samrush is known for automation. So what do you think is the biggest misconception that people in the industry have about automation?
Well, I see a lot of people, make this mistake, which is they completely rely on it.
Yeah.
Which is fine. It's fine to rely. I mean, people made these tools because they help us out, they make things easier for us. However, when it's the overuse of them, that's when it starts, like our previous question, it's stop having human touch. So they treat it kind of like a substitute for them. So they expect them to, the automation to create engagement and connection, completely on its own. And but it should function, like an assistant. So you tell it what to do and it, does it for you. So it can imagine, as I previously said, repetitive tasks, but it shouldn't replace creativity, empathy or intuitions. We are the ones that create the content for our audience. And so many brands I see and so many creators go in the automation route, which is completely fine. And you should use it. I'm the first, that will say, hey, use it. It saves you time. You can focus on the more important things. But when they overuse it, and I can see, and I see some creators I followed before, and then I see, oh my God, it goes completely on that route that doesn't even feel personal anymore. It's just automation, and I can kind of feel it through the screen, and that is why I see the common mistakes that people make with regards with automation. So, as an assistant, not as a replacement.
Yeah, I agree with that. So just continuing your answer, a lot of people they're using AI tools and all of that to increase their efficiency in the workplace as well. But how you as a marketing specialist believe that AI can be used to increase efficiency, but at the same time make sure that you have authentic content online?
Mhm. Well, efficiency starts to hurt authenticity actually when it feels robotic and copy pasted.
Yeah.
So, for example, when you see on LinkedIn some posts from the same creator and it's pretty much the same template, same format, it's just a couple of different words. Like, today I did this, and then tomorrow, today I did this, but it's a different thing. It's pretty much the same on. I don't know, like pretty much on the same post, but just a bit different. So it feels a lot copy pasted, in that case. And every post then starts to feel the same, and you are no longer you. You kind of lose your personality through that, pretty much. So authenticity actually, in my understanding, comes from actually getting to know your audience. So their context, their mood, and where they are in your journey. So you can have some people that have been in your community for a while, and some that just joined, and you need to understand, both of these audiences so you can create quality content for them. Also, be authentic to yourself, and you need to still be efficient, but as I said, when it feels copy pasted and when you are getting too efficient, it's bad, Don't post every day, then post every other day, but make
Yeah.
sure that your posts are still authentic and still, feel like you. So, for example, if someone buys your product for the first time, they're a first customer, and you send them, like, after them buying the product, hey, we miss you email, it doesn't make sense. It makes sense for a customer that has been here a long time but hasn't maybe purchased something in months. Then you can send out, "Hey, we miss email." But when you send it after the first purchase, it doesn't feel, it doesn't make sense. It doesn't feel personal. Even though I can see some automated emails, they sometimes feel, personal because they know where I am in the journey on their company, and I'm fine with it. Sometimes I like even to read those automated emails.
That's really nice. So what are the underrated automation tools that you're actually using, underrated automation tools that you're using that can enhance your human connection? So we all know that there's ChatGPT, there's Claude, and Notion as well. But are there any automation tools that you specifically use as a marketeer?
hmm So, for example, since I work at Semrush, I use Semrush social poster. So it helps me actually plan, create, and schedule and post content, across multiple networks. So that is pretty great because, you still think of the post, you're still being creative, but you're being efficient by telling, hey, post this at this time across these different, social medias. And it helps very with that. I've also I don't use it personally, but I know a friend that uses it, and I use it a bit with her when she needed help with something. So it's HubSpot Marketing Hub. So it kind of monitors website traffic and then manages campaigns and organizes workflows then, and that is also great. And also Adobe Marketo Engage. I used it previously, a year or two ago. So it kind of uses AI to predict customer behavior and,
Yeah.
suggest content, which is amazing actually, because if you know how to use it, it can prove so much useful because it's great to, you know how what is your customer behavior, what they like. So you can kind of tailor to them, but also keep your content, personal and authentic to you, but still be efficient with these tools.
That's great. So, how do you ensure that the customer journey is very much human and personal, along with automating it as well? Because you're working as a product marketing specialist.
hmm Yeah, that's a good question. So to make it feel more human, so I actually combine, tech with some thoughtful human touches. So I'll give you some examples, and for other people listening so they can use. So you should do welcome calls and also personalized emails for new subscribers. Yeah, use automation, but make it a bit more personal. Don't send new subscribers a special email, and for the older subscribers also a special email. Don't make it all the same one. So also handwritten notes for key clients and collaborators as well. Just um, send them in the mail as well, so that feels nice as well. And you should also make tailored you follow-ups based on user behavior. So go beyond just first names, so referencing past actions, interests, or milestone. So if someone watched my podcast, for example, I might reach out, with a thank you note. That shows I noticed their engagement and
Yeah.
that I appreciated. So automation kind of handles the timing, but you need to have personalization. So the thoughtful part is the one that makes it human.
That's nice. I really like the handwritten notes that you told. So you're
Mhm.
also starting off with your own podcast as well. So are you planning to use any automation tools in that as well?
Mhm. Okay, so my podcast hasn't really yet
Yeah.
launched, and it launches November 5th. So I'm still in the process, of filming and everything and figuring stuff out. I do plan to use automation. However, as I mentioned previously in one of my answers, I plan to use it, but only for efficiency. So I plan to create the content, to edit the content, to, design some snippets, everything. Right now, since I have a small group of followers, I don't think I really need that much automation. I plan, for example, to send them all a personalized email that was handwritten by me. So just in the beginning, at the start. But I also plan to use, Semrush Social Poster, as I said, that I now use just
Yeah.
to schedule posts and help me out with that. But everything else I plan to do on my own. And I plan on also following up with creators that join my podcast and everything. But in case it gets, bigger and that I can't handle it, all the tasks that can, save me time, I will
Yeah.
do them. But I will also try to keep a lot of stuff, personal
Yeah.
and just coming from me.
That's amazing. If you need any tips, you can always reach out to me. So
Thanks.
how do you actually maintain the brand voice? Because when you're using AI, there's a certain way that AI actually talks, and we know that. So how do you actually make sure that the brand voice stays consistent throughout while also using automation?
Mhm. So what I always do, so when you're a content creator, you have a certain community,
Yeah.
certain people that follow you. You need to get behind that. Why did they follow me? So I followed someone because I liked their posts, but as soon as they switch up and they started posting this AI automated, post, I will feel something is off because I didn't follow them for it. But when I see posts that are familiar, that a post that I follow them for, it's like kind of like a childhood memory. Like you see something familiar and it reminds you. So, for example, I rely heavily on Canva to create the visuals that are distinctive to me. So I don't make them all the same, but I make it similar to what I previously, used, and the content that matches the posts that I posted previously, that it isn't the same, but it's kind of in that same, niche, and that it's similar to the posts I used. Since, you followed me
Yeah.
for this, I'm going to keep on posting this. So think of it like kind of nostalgia. So keeps certain design elements or even fonts to become part of the signature. For example, the color pink. Everything is going to have a bit of pink in it,
Yeah.
because it feels like me, and it becomes your kind of signature, and it tells your audience to keep connected.
That's I agree with that. So there's a lot of debate which is going online. One is basically using AI a lot, and the other is that with time, because AI is increasing, a time will come when emotional intelligence, that is human to human connection, is actually going to become very, very important, and it's actually happening now. So, how important do you think is emotional intelligence along with using automation and AI?
Well, so automation works best for, those competitive tasks
Yeah,
that we already mentioned, but humans should handle still the high stake ones. So the ones that require empathy, humor, or even, good judgment. And for content creation, that might be automating reminders, publishing schedules, or even snippet posting. But humans should still draft and review the content and also respond to nuanced comments or questions, because sometimes I can feel if someone posts something and I might think it's a good post. I will go to the comments and somebody will, comment to them something insightful or post a joke, but they will comment back and it wouldn't even be related to the post. It's like they don't even understand what they posted. So that is why I think it's very important for us to still be the ones that create content. And yeah, use ChatGPT. I use ChatGPT on the daily, but I'm the one like, hey, I want to do this thing. It's this, and that. I want it to feel like this. ChatGPT gives me the prompt, and I'm like, okay, I don't like this. I don't like that because it can be super formal sometimes on ChatGPT. I'm not formal, so I like to include like, little
yeah,
jokes and everything else. So that feels like my personality. So you need to understand your content. You need to create it on your own. And yeah, so that is pretty much let automation handle the,
yeah,
mechanics,
I agree.
but leave the decision makings, yeah, to humans.
That's nice. So, have you ever come across any campaign that was able to balance both automation and, bringing the human element as well?
Spotify Wrapped, most definitely. If you heard of it, if you like it as well. So I'm a huge fan of music. I listen to Spotify, every day. So that feels uh, incredibly personal, and those automated insights, feel fun, emotional, and it feels uniquely personal. It gets you on the nostalgia for because music can sometimes trigger a memory, a
Yeah,
specific month, a specific year in your life. So, for example, when you listen to 2000s music, it reminds me, of my childhood, young adulthood. So it kind of gets me on the nostalgia, and I absolutely love that campaign. And also the Canva social campaigns I also love. So they let global users pretty much automate some design workflows, but it's very playful and I love them. And some also LinkedIn learning campaigns, even uh, because I have a lot of certifications on LinkedIn Learning and I used it a lot. They can feel those recommendations can feel personal because they're based on your activity. But humans, behind it, curate the campaigns behind the scenes to ensure there is still relevance and tone. So these campaigns scale engagement, but they're keeping that human touch. I know it's automated, but it still feels human and
yeah.
personal to me.
So, do you think that AI will ever be able to understand the human element and empathy that humans have? And do you think that it can completely take over marketing in the future?
Well, tricky question. I'm a believer pretty much that artificial intelligence can someday reach, our certain intelligence, but I don't think it can. I think it can mimic empathy and messaging, but I don't think it can ever create a full understanding of the human touch because every single scientist in the world was able to explain the brain and what is going on in the brain, but nobody was able to explain where does the personality come from? Where do
Yeah.
feelings come from? They were able to explain the body, but never the mind, which I think is great to me. So I don't think it can ever be mimicked or ever be replaced We are special, even though we use those automation tools, to help us out, save us time so we can focus, on important parts. Humans are, I think, always needed for context, cultural sensitivity. I don't think that I can feel. I sometimes talk even to ChatGPT, like, "Hey, can you help me out with this? I feel like this." And yeah, it does give me some advice. It thinks from a logical standpoint, but it can never give me the empathy and the feeling that a
Yeah,
human can give me.
that's nice. So is that the reason that you're starting off a podcast in the age of AI? It's very difficult to do that. So is that one of the reasons?
Well, yes, actually, because I feel like especially on LinkedIn, it can sometimes get, it feels like maybe AI talking to AI. So it's like your AI talks to my AI. But when I sit down, I already filmed a couple of, interviews. I asked people questions, and we actually talked. Nobody used notes. We had
Yeah.
like a conversation, like a networking conversation. And I feel like how much I missed that because in the last couple of years, I almost forgot what it was like, before all of this, what it was like when you were all on your own to, create some posts and everything. So it was very important to me, yeah, to still keep the human connection and to show how important, networking is and talking to each other. Because, I mean, you can post a certain amount of posts and use AI and use automation, but you build the community that way by talking to your audience, by talking to creators that you love, and not just for your own gain, but also just to get someone else's, opinion, because I can talk to them through their posts, comment section messages, but when I talk to them in person, I can really see how they feel. And that is, amazing. And that is why, yeah, I created some because it really means a lot getting insights from all of those creators.
That's nice. I agree with that. That's the reason why I also started a podcast as well in the start. So I really
Mhm.
want to know that how was life before AI and how did Samrush adapted AI in the workplace? Was it very easy for you guys or was it difficult for the workers?
Well, it was easy. So recently there have been some new, AI toolkits, but it was greatly, explained. And I also use some of those toolkits to help you gain, visibility through AI and everything. But they still use it to help out your website, gain traffic, so you can uh, AI can, use your kind of your website's content. And so when someone asks a question in ChatGPT, it will give you an answer from your content. So it kind of helps you with that. So that was kind of, AI was kind of difficult for me to understand a couple 2, 3 years ago, because like, what is this? What is this? How do I use it and everything? But it was a good switch, and they actually taught us, how to use it for the better and how to use it for our own gain and not to overuse it and not replace us, but still, to use it smartly. And yeah, so it can only help you out.
That's nice. So you're also a content creator online. I've seen your LinkedIn as well. So in the age of AI, it's so easy for people to become content creators. Every other person is a content creator because apparently they have AI. So how do you actually make sure that you are getting noticed online? Is it your personality or is it any other factor? Because you talked about your branding as well, the colors that you're using, the font that you're using. But how do you make sure that you're authentic and differentiated from other creators while using AI?
Well, stay true to yourself. There are a lot of similar things that you can post as well that other content creators post about. So, for example, I post about makeup. There are hundreds of others content creators that post about makeup, but I make it, feel personal to me, my own ideas. I sort of get, ideas also from other content creators rather than AI, not like stealing or anything, but I don't write in ChatGPT and I'm like, hey, give me this idea for this and this and that. I actually bounce off of seeing what other people post. And I'm like, oh, so this works, that works. And I'm like, okay, what can work then for my audience? Go back to my profile, see what
Yeah,
what my audience interacts with. And kind of based on that, then I think of, some ideas. So I personalize it, I talk about what I love, and I try to keep it similar to what I posted in the past so my audience will like it. So at the end of the day, yeah, you post because you like it and you post your personality, but you also post for your community, your audience, people that follow you, So yeah, that are some of the tricks I use for that.
that's great. So, what do you think about the future of automation and AI in marketing? What do you think about that?
Well, I think it can be great if we learn how to smartly use it, not overuse it, not to replace us, but to still be creative. I think if we use it smartly, we can become even more creative. There is no stopping us. If
Yeah,
imagine everything that is, repetitive and everything that is, boring and whatever, something that doesn't need you and your creativity, something that is just like, for example, thousands of emails need to get sent out or whatever. Imagine if that was all, you were getting, it replaces you for all of that. But for example, you then are able to be creative and only create like an artist. So pretty much grab your paintbrush and, paint on a black page. So imagine if we could only do that. I, I I see no boundaries, honestly. I think we should even be more creative with the tools that we have in hand now.
yeah, that's nice. So this brings us at the end
Yeah.
of the podcast, Jelena. At the end, I'd just like you to give any advice to all of the brands and also the content creators out there when it comes to using AI in marketing, especially.
Stay true to yourself. I have advice. So use AI. I use AI. Nothing wrong with that. It can only help you. Use it as an assistant. So you use the assistant to tell you, hey, make a call to this person, but you're the one that picks up the phone and talks to that person. So that assistant only helps you find the number of that person. Don't use it as a replacement. Just but use it to your own benefit. Use it smartly, because you can focus on so much more if you use it and not overuse it as well. Don't let it replace you. Still be creative. Stay true to yourself. Stay personal to your audience, everything. But and use ChatGPT to help you, and again, not replace you. So that is my advice to give to people, posting and everything. So nothing wrong with using automation or AI. I won't judge you for it. Even if it saves you time, more power to you. So yeah, that's pretty much the advice I have to give.
That's great advice. And this brings us at the end. It was wonderful having you, Jelena. I hope you enjoyed as well.
Thank you so much for having me. I enjoyed it very much. Invite me a couple of other times. I love to talk. So, and it was wonderful talking to you.
Thank you.